Come on, let's find them. Hola, hola. Oh my goodness. Hi. Okay.
Hey.
All right. Back up. Back up, killers. They're killers. Come on in.
Thank you.
How are you?
We're good. I'm great. And you?
Good. I'm great. I'm normalizing answering the door with my mask.
Okay.
So I like leave it up here. You're actually in the grounding room right now. So go ahead and ground. So you're just catching me coming in from teaching hot yoga. So I'm like super sweaty right now. But come on in. Remember that we're still unpacking. So it's unboxing season. No judgment. But welcome to the house.
This looks awesome.
Do not shoot the kitchen sink though. It might smell a little garlicky. But anyway, this is like real life right here. This is like real life of how we are living. Oh, I wanted to show you just because it so speaks to where I am right now. This is for our fall garden. We're planting the central and the west gardens, which I'll show you in a little bit. Each one of these guys is a raised bed that's 35 feet and 4 feet deep. So this is a lot of vegetables, and so we can't fail. And then and then these are our patches over here, like potato patch, squash patch, pumpkin patch, and all that. We have 3 sisters patches. And again, I love my kitchen, and it's so dirty right now that you can only do it like super fast. Actually, we just harvested these spinach, but we're like getting ready to like pull things from here, like use this is kind of like our garden way station.
Nice.
Anyway, I don't know. I'm thinking about putting those up there, but I'm not sure.
Great artwork.
Well, these are mine, actually. I don't know if you know this, but those 2 are mine, and this is this local Houston artist. This is actually Garden of the Gods in Colorado.
Ooh, amazing.
Yeah, and of course over there, that's Cuba.
Yes.
This is a beautiful artist. Her name is Juliana, who's here in Houston. She's amazing. And that's called A New Sunset or Sunrise, and I thought how appropriate. We're trying to figure out what to do with that. I'll show you briefly, and then we'll show you a little bit more of the garden, or the back 40. Come on out here. So yeah, so that's the back 40. It's not really 40 acres. It's 2.5 acres. But
still looks really big.
Yeah. We had to pivot when COVID happened, and we use this space right now to do our yoga and workshops and things like that. And our grass is really high because it just rained for like 7 days. But out there is where we're planting our food, and our hope is to be really successable with planting so that we can primarily only eat from there. So it's going to be really exciting.
That is super exciting.
Yeah, give the middle finger to factory farming because they hurt communities, especially Black communities. But come on in, we'll sit down and we'll social distance.
I am Tamika Caston-Miller. My wife Lenny and I decided to go all in on a dream in which we would combine gardening, yoga, art, and community all in one space to help people come back to their inner child. And so I've been creating workshops where we talk about and educate people on how to build their own gardens, how to heal by seeing things grow and by allowing nature to be our teacher. And so we've been doing this, and we started doing this before we were even really settled into our house. We started our garden with the help of Kelly Lawless, who is a burgeoning horticultural therapist. And together with friends, we have built this space out to create these giant garden beds where now we're able to turn into a fully functioning farm. Recently, we had a gardening workshop where we taught folks to create their own gardens, and they were able to have their teeny tiny gardens to go as we all began our fall gardens together. What I really love about gardening is that we get to be reminded from nature that with a simple seed, we can create anything. Our story really relies on a seed that became germinated with the wonderful and incredible watering of help from friends and support from friends. But it all came back to an idea. And then we were sitting around in Peru, and I was thinking, I really want a big piece of land where I can just create a whole series of things. I can help feed people. I can teach people about the food that comes from the earth that ends up on our plates. And then also I could really lean into this idea of bringing yoga to the outdoors. The funny thing is I really wanted to create yoga outdoors before I realized that it would be a requirement. After COVID, we had to really shift our thinking in terms of how we would do yoga on our property. And the beautiful thing is once we started having the experience of studios closing down and just the lack of community because people couldn't get together, we started creating that community in our own space, hosting events like Yoga and Chill, and getting into our bodies by being in full self-expression. We love to play music and enjoy life and ground, and we can do all of that with social distancing, because the thing is what we ended up doing was just asking ourselves not what I can't do, but what is possible right now. Asha Yoga and Wellness has become a premier location for outdoor yoga because we embrace this idea of shifting from building a building, which doesn't even make sense at this point anymore, to just utilizing this space that we currently have. And now we have teacher training happening right now, even where now I'm training more yoga teachers to be able to teach in this new environment where we're either outdoors in the elements or where we are teaching distance and trying to create community just by connecting with people via Zoom or any other online format. It's really incredible to practice yoga outside because we actually have an opportunity to use nature as our inspiration. And now it's funny because our clients and our students are really remiss to bring yoga back indoors because there's such a connection between nature and the spirit of taking something from an idea, something from a concept into reality here out in the open space where it can grow and turn into something really beautiful. Oftentimes I'll have students look out onto the patches where stables once were and where animals once were, and they'll look out there and I'll remind them that there was never any intention of those spaces being used to create food. And if we would have put the seed into the land at that moment, it would have never turned into food because the soil wasn't ready. But by giving that soil time, by tilling the soil, by adding to it, by adding what it needed to actually be viable to grow something, we've able to turn this beaten path that was beaten down by horses and goats and really just a place for excrement and rodents and everything that you can imagine has turned into now a source for food. I came into teaching yoga because I was working on my relationship with my body, not just because I was a full-figured woman, but because I had had hip issues for years and years and years. And so the path to accepting my body the way that it was really through yoga. And now people can actually look to me into that experience to recreate that same success of healing for themselves. A lot of what we're seeing in the yoga community today is a lot of spaces that are really segregated. There's been a big commentary on the whiteness of wellness spaces. And so what I know for sure that I'm bringing to our community is a space where people of all hues can come together, can practice together and breathe. People of all genders, of all sexual orientations can all come together and know that we're all here just to breathe and move and create higher consciousness together, or lean into and listen to higher consciousness together. I actually quit my job last year to teach yoga full time and to really open up the classroom from being a space that was solely meant for school-age children. And now it can be a space for anyone. And now these spaces keep growing and multiplying. And now we've had some pretty big events like our Sound Bath Restorative, where people can come out and experience sound healing through the use of instruments. And we can do all of that safely. Again, just taking this idea and just shifting with it as the times have shifted as well. Imagine being out here when it's nighttime and you can hear initially the locusts, and then as you take a class, then the attention shifts and you can hear the crickets singing and the birds and then the wind rustling in the trees. And all of that is a part of this magical experience of yoga in the open air and yoga here at the Ranch Houston. We don't really have city sounds out here, even though we are located inside of the city of Houston. So it's kind of interesting to be in this space where we can have the best of both worlds. So yoga isn't the only thing that we do at the Ranch Houston. It's just what we have done before, what I've done before to really be the seed to the Ranch Houston. Aside from that, we have had workshops teaching people about Ayurveda. We actually created an outdoor spa, just really creating spaces for people to have really beautiful experiences. recently we did a yoga retreat. It was yoga, art, and Ayurveda. And people were able to come out, be in community, have a weekend away from the rest of their lives and COVID life. And it was all done outside as we explored art, headed by Lenny, who is the head of the Mill, HTX. And the Mill is really Lenny's baby in that it is her gallery space, or future gallery space. Currently what we've done is created this outdoor ceramics wonderland by creating a space for pit firing, which we did at the event. And people were able to not only make their own art, but also to use this ages-old method of firing art. And Lenny is always the grand comic whenever it comes to creating art. It was so exciting to birth something out of the ground that was beyond just food. And as we unearthed all of the items to see what it was that we were able to create, there were some wonderful moments, there were some disappointments, and the beautiful thing is that we now know that we can always start again and we can always add more and create more. Art at the Ranch Houston is really important, and it is one of the things that we brought to our most recent event, which was Quarren Fest. The Blue Moon Quarren Fest was a micro festival in which we combined art, live music, and yoga. They're really at the foundation of everything that we do at the Ranch Houston. And there were artists that came in from other parts of town, of Texas, that sent in their work from other parts of the country. And people came out to move their bodies. We created these amazing little areas where they could do that. We also took the opportunity to honor ancestors and to really just be in a space of fun and freedom for an entire day, which of course happened to be on Halloween. What we found is that if we were able to just get creative, we could create a space for people to have a little slice of normal life. I think the bottom line is that the opportunities are really limitless when you actually begin to think about what it is that you want to do with your idea. I'm a first-generation farmer, a lover of beauty and plants, a well-known yoga instructor, a lover of community. And I am helping to raise the next generation of food growers. My wife and I had a great idea. We just wanted to create a space where people would feel seen, loved, and affirmed, and where people could come back to their inner child and be in community. And we were willing to go all in to make that happen, and it has paid off in dividends. So you have to be willing to give everything, give it all. And perhaps, if you're willing to do the work, you will reap a great harvest.